Hello, hello. This is Yuriy Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving podcast. And with me today, I have Carlos Araujo, the owner of All in a Day Moving. How you doing today?
Good, good.
Good. Thanks for joining me. So as you guys can see it back there behind Carlos, you got the moving truck, the stuff that we used to seeing every day. So I like the difference. I like seeing it in the background versus your regular logos and everything like that. So it kind of gets you back to
Yeah.
where we all been. Obviously, I've been on the truck too, although I'm in the office mostly, but I've done that all. So it's actually kind of refreshing to see it because you don't get the chance to see it every single day, at least for some of us that do spend more time in the office nowadays than otherwise.
Yeah.
So we were talking and you telling me you've been doing it for over 20 years. So how did you get
hmm
started?
I started with my older brother, my older brother out of Portland, Oregon. He's had a moving company out there for like say 3 to 5 years, but then ended up having a divorce. Ended up leaving Portland, Oregon. Ended up coming back down to where we are now in the Central Valley, probably back in 2010 to 2012, somewhere around then. He came back here, and then he kind of just started all over. And then I worked with him for many years, for like another 6, 7 years after that. I guess we weren't meeting kind of eye to eye on the things that what I needed to kind of go forward with him. We weren't meeting eye to eye, so I kind of just branched off, started doing my own thing. Now we kind of just compete in the same area for the loads and stuff. Well, not compete because, yeah, no competing. Just I guess we have more principles and morals over here, values, everything. He kind of just tries to beat me by price. He's one of those type of guys.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you always want to sell value more so than the price. I mean, if you're a brand new company starting out and you don't have reviews and you don't have any of that stuff, then yeah, price has got to be something that you're going to be able to get business and get work by. But as you're getting more experience, as you're getting more into the company has been around, you now have reviews and everything else, you definitely want to make sure it's the value that people are buying into rather than the price. And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more. Because at the end of the day, you want good service. Good service is worth money, right? So it's not, you're
Yeah,
not,
no,
you like, you, at the end of the day, you don't want the cheap customers because cheap
no,
customers are the ones that make the work more difficult for
yeah,
you,
no,
for
they're
us, for
dangerous
everyone.
people. They're very dangerous for a business.
Yeah.
Very dangerous. They're the ones that get the mad the most out of everybody.
Mhm.
I,
Yeah, they're the
you
guys
could
that
be.
are fighting you and putting out reviews over $20 versus
Oh
guys
yeah.
that the
Yep.
jobs end up being bigger because they have more stuff and they go like, "Oh, I do. How much more is it?" And they're just like
Yeah.
willing to pay,
No
no
problem.
problem.
Just get it done today, Carlos. As long as you get it done today, we're good.
Yeah.
I got work tomorrow. Okay, and they're happy.
And for them, it doesn't matter if it's extra 500, extra 2,000, if it's a long distance
Whatever, yeah,
move.
whatever the bill is.
They're
Yep.
they're not fighting you over $20. Those
No,
guys,
they're not
if
fine.
they see that you're doing a good job, if they see that you're doing quality of work, they're willing to pay for it. And at the end of the day, like that's the kind of client that you want, the kind of client that understands value versus trying to nickel and dime you and fight with you over $20. Now, obviously, you are, as you were saying, you're focusing on quality and you're focusing on licensing and everything else and doing job the right way. So, is that what makes you different from your competitors in the area,
Oh
or are
yeah,
there
yeah.
other
Because
things that you're doing?
around here, the only guys that have really licenses are usually the ones with the trucks wrapped and stuff, but not all of them. But what I've seen around here, everybody kind of just, they kind of put up a Google page ad or a Yelp ad or something, thinking they were going to get work, like, but no, you got to have a great reputation. Reputation follows you everywhere. I've heard of, bad things about moving companies. Sometimes I hear good, but mostly everybody talks about the bad. You know how it is. Nobody ever
Yeah.
talks about how good someone is or how good they treated them. It's always like they seem the bad tends to get out more than the good. So I hear a lot of bad stories with other movers, like, oh no, they took longer, or they showed up like this, or they looked like this, or they smelled like this, things like that nature.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you get quality work because at the end of the day, that's what affects the pricing and everything else
Yeah,
also.
Yes, it
because
is.
and yeah, I mean California is very different today than it used to be because I started out doing moving in California myself many years ago. You're talking
Oh,
back
that's right. That's right.
2000, back in 2003. But then that was the golden time. You could get on the phone, jobs were dropping, people were moving a lot. You could easily book as many as 15, 20 jobs in a day. You could book that much, right? These days it's a
Yeah.
lot tougher. A lot of people moved out. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's still a big state. There's still work there, but people definitely seem to have less money to go around. So as a
Yes,
result, of
and then
course,
they're
it's
like, oh,
affecting
we
the
don't
moving
care. Yeah.
companies.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, we don't care if they're licensed or not. We just want to get moved. There's
Right,
someone
right.
that, there's someone half your cost down the road. Like, okay, well, you guys have a great day. If anything changes or anything, just give me a call back. We're here. We're here for you.
Yeah, basically. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you have to do. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough. California and New York are right now probably the toughest states to book jobs because there's a lot of people, but there's also a lot of competition. And
Yeah.
that's what you're running into.
Does your company need more creative marketing and ad campaigns to improve traffic and organic leads? Well, Moving Sales Professionals has a solution for you. We have partnered with social media marketing agency that has over 300 million views on their ads and videos across social media, and they have generated over $35 million for their clients over the last 10 years alone. Their services include content creation, social media ads, pay-per-click campaigns, website and funnel development, Google Ads, email marketing campaigns, lead generation, and much, much more. For a limited time only, they have discounted rates for their services. Sign up for a free consultation call with us via our Calendly link on our website or below this video.
So,
Yeah. A lot of
besides obviously licensing and some of the other stuff that we're talking about, is there anything that you're doing that's unique to you?
kind of just, I guess, going out, real estate agents, doing a lot of marketing, networking, other businesses. I do videos with other businesses sometimes, I meet with a lot of realtors. I meet with a lot of different people all the time. Sometimes I have a couple people that I know that I'll end up like just doing another video with them about their business and, things of that nature. So, their people start following me and then I start following them and we kind of create a rapport like that.
Yeah, and I think that that's important because at the end of the day, it's at moments it looks like it's a big industry, and other moments it's much smaller because people do know each other. Reputation
Yeah.
definitely gets around, and you
Yes,
definitely
it does.
hear about what people are saying, and you definitely, if you're a good guy, the other good guys want to work with you, and if you're not, people don't want to work with you. So sooner or
No,
later,
they'll
that's going
avoid
to
you.
get
They'll avoid
around.
you. Yeah, no, word spreads fast.
Now, how many trucks are you running currently, Carlos?
I have two trucks. I have a
Two
30, I
trucks.
have a, yeah, I have a 32-foot trailer, 16-foot trailer, and then I have a Ford F-350. I pulls both of them. Then I got a 26-foot bobtail.
Okay, okay. Sounds good. Now, do you have certain goals and plans in the next 5? What are you thinking?
Oh, next 5 years? Yeah, of course. Just more real estate marketing. Real estate, real estate, real estate. Just hit those real estate. Just knock on, not knock on doors, but just kind of stay in their face. Kind of just keep going to the events. Kind of sponsor these events. Showing up. Showing with the good guys that come. Just showing up well dressed. Everything. Just making sure we're should have a positive outlook on everything. For the next couple years, I would hopefully this city grows where I'm in. Hopefully, get second, two, maybe three, four trucks by then. And hopefully, we get them running consistently. Like I said, it's hard to fight with people that just do it for practically nothing.
Right. Yeah, no, we'd love to see that growth. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
you want to see good guys get somewhere because at the end of the day, you hate to see somebody that's not doing quality work growing. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up to them. And sooner or later, if
Oh,
you do good work, it's going to catch up with you. I mean,
yeah.
reviews are
I've
important.
seen that lately. I've seen that lately where, because sometimes I would bite the bullet like, oh, just give them this kind of, oh, there, give my wife kind of bites my head off sometimes. Oh, no, why are you being so nice? I'm like, I'd rather be nice and save our reputation instead of getting someone that's like, she just wants $100 back and then we don't want to give it back, but they write 20, 30 reviews and they go on all the platforms. And then,
Mm.
people will go based off what they see, not what they, what the company tells them or anything, but they're just going to go based off that. They won't even call you. They'll just move on. So
I
to avoid all
mean,
that,
I think
so,
it's a lot about also how you respond to a review.
okay,
Because if
okay.
you're being, if you're being as a matter of fact about it and you're presenting all the facts without at the same time smearing the person that wrote it, right? people that read reviews, especially when they're looking for specific service, they look at the review, yes, but they're also looking at how the company responds to it. Because there's plenty of people that we know that, frankly, you go and you look at their Yelp profile and you see nothing but bad reviews. Okay, so these
Yeah,
people, they're not necessarily having a problem with your company; they're having a problem with everybody. So it's like you got to look also at the source of the bad review. And I think people that truly want good service, I think they want to look at reviews, yes, but
yeah,
they also want to look at how the company responded. So if you're responding professionally, if you're going, okay, this is what happened, this, and this is
yeah,
maybe this is the situation that happened here, this is how we took care of it, this is what the customer asked for. Unfortunately, we could not accommodate that because that was not realistic. This is why it wasn't realistic. This is why this is not work. It like things like that. People realize honesty, and they also like if you're being negative and you're being rude to the person that wrote that thing, you're
yeah,
doing even worse for yourself in that review because
yeah. No,
when you're responding that way, the person reading it, they're gonna be like, "Uh-huh." So these guys are right because that's how they're responding.
yeah. No, we tend to try to respond with the professional answer, not be like you said, not be aggressive, not be mean, just state the facts, and
Mhm.
thank you, have a good day.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. I think you got. Yeah, I think that's the best way to approach things like that. Because I mean, at the end of the day, and I tell this to the customer all the time, is that there's always going to be somebody that's not going to like something. There are people that you're never going to please, no matter what you do. So the best thing that you can do is offer it. The best thing you can do is try to help them. But at the end of the day, if you got to walk separate ways, you got to walk separate ways. You're not going to please everybody. Are you trying to be good and you're trying to take care of the customer? Of course you are. And you should be if you
yeah,
want to stay in the industry, that is.
yeah,
Right.
definitely.
But at the end of the day, you also got to look at it this way. There are companies that worry about today and getting their $100 today, right? Meanwhile, if they did take care of that customer, maybe it's an old lady or maybe it's somebody else, right? We're all that degree of separation. It's not that far. You being nice to somebody may turn into extra 10, 15, who knows how many customers for you down the road. And it
No, yeah,
only
I know.
think
Yeah,
of it this way, it only costs you $100 because that's the
yeah,
same thing as when you're putting out reviews or when you're doing social media or anything else. Good things, people that are truly thankful for you doing something for them. That information, usually when somebody's really happy or they really feel thankful for someone, they usually spread that information out. And you
yeah. Okay, okay.
can't, those people are basically going to become you didn't even ask for it, but they're going to be your ambassadors out there and they're going to say good things about your company. And you can't buy that kind of publicity and that kind of advertising. When it's unsolicited, somebody is just thankful for you taking care of them.
Yeah, no, I know. Like I said, I just try to take care of every client. I'm always been very nice to people. I always just here you go. Like you said, being nice goes around a lot more than being aggressive and mean and saying, and just saying, forget you, and I don't want to do that either, especially in this business. Like you said, especially when the people invite you into their home, it's more sacred, than anything. It's like, okay, these people are inviting you to your home to move their stuff, to do it right, to do it correctly. So no, I always try to be nice to people. I never try to get aggressive or loud. I always try to speak to them correctly and professionally. If we can't meet a middle ground, we can't meet to where we're both he's still being angry or she's still being angry. I'll just walk away and we'll talk about it later. When we're both in a calmer situation.
Right. And sometimes it's the same thing. I say that on the phone sometimes. Ma'am, you need to stop yelling at me. People in my office
Yeah,
laugh at me because they've heard me do this. And I'm like, ma'am, you're still yelling.
yeah,
Ma'am, if you continue, I will hang up the phone and then you can call me back when you come down. Ma'am,
yeah,
I'm hanging out right now. Click.
yeah,
Because it's about you got to keep your cool, but at the same
yeah.
time, you're not going to let somebody if they think they're going to get somewhere by being rude and by being
By yelling.
loud and
Yeah,
by you're not going to get anywhere by being
yeah.
that way. You're going to get
No,
a lot more by I mean, being assertive and certainly asking for whatever it is that you're asking for, but without the physical part, without the yelling, without putting somebody down, without using the language that people don't want to hear, you're not going to get anywhere with that.
Nowhere
So
far.
no, nowhere far.
Nowhere far. No.
But anyway, Carlos, it's great. It was great to have you on. We're
Okay.
hearing from California here. Once again, I love the folded blankets in the background. I really do.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So thank you very much for joining me. And like I always say, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. Thank you for joining
All right.
us, and we'll talk again soon.